Hey, lovely friend. Sequoia here, your spiritual teacher, coach, and intuitive reader. So, welcome. If you're here with me live, let me know. Give me a comment saying live. If you're here with me on the replay, give me a comment saying replay. And today's topic for this video is the number one thing people don't understand about responsibility. So, yeah, before we get into it, I want to invite you to share this video out to your community, to tag someone who you think could really use this information. Coming at this information from a spiritual standpoint and from a mental health standpoint as well. And as always, give me the likes and the hearts and all of that. So, before we get into this talk, this big topic, honestly, big topic about responsibility, I want to invite you to book a call with me. That link is above this video and it's below this video. When you click on that link, it's going to bring you to a page to let you know more about me and what I do. You're going to click apply. You'll go to the application, you'll fill out the questions, you'll find the time that best suits your schedule, and we will get on a call and we will talk about where responsibility is helping or hindering you in your life. Okay. So, generally speaking, we think about responsibility as a good thing, as a positive thing, as a helpful thing for ourselves and for humanity and showing up in the world. And when used properly and correctly, that is absolutely true, 100% true. But when used improperly, it really can prevent us from living authentically, from being who we really are, from serving the world in the way that you're meant to. I know the people who watch my videos are by and large in some sort of service to humanity in the world, whether that's through their work, whether that's through their own teaching, whether that's through their community service, etc., etc. Have something big to bring to the world that's important to them. So I want to tell you a story about me. And this is sort of an ongoing story. But it was most prevalent in my growing up, in my childhood. So that's where I'm going to start it. When I was younger, I really believed that it was important that I show up for everyone. I really took it upon myself to take on every last person's issue as my own, to solve and to make better in the world. And I'm the oldest of 5 kids, so I was taking care of my brothers quite a lot, and that really fed into this idea that it was my job, it was my role, it was expected of me that anyone having an issue, that I would be there, that I would emotionally exist, emotionally take care of whomever that was, help them through whatever their thing was that was going on. And I did it. And I felt very much required to do that. And this showed up not just in my family, but all throughout school. I felt a responsibility to be the best at anything I did. And like, so, getting like incredibly good grades, and at the same time making sure everybody was well cared for, well taken care of, at ease, and that no one was upset, that no one was struggling. And my teachers knew this. Like, I very well remember in 5th grade we had like paired desks, and I remember being sat next to a kid who was actually quite smart and quite capable all on his own, but wasn't doing well, quote unquote, in school, wasn't getting good grades, wasn't paying attention, etc., etc., etc. And so I was placed next to him to, I don't know, encourage good study habits or help him reset himself, reorient towards the class, or, not like these things were directly said to me, but it was obvious that's why I was seated there, and that's why he was seated there. And so I just took that on unquestioningly, like, yeah, of course I'll do this. No problem. When in reality, he he was like when I look back on it, like, he was always cracking jokes and perfectly capable, more than capable, of doing the schoolwork if he wanted to. Didn't really need me to help him. Getting the goosebumps. If you've been watching, you know the goosebumps are a sign from Spirit that what I'm saying is important and valuable and meant to be taken seriously. Joyfully and seriously. That's sort of my MO. That's what I help you with. Being joyful through serious moments, through relearning and through your self-growth and all of that. So let me know if you relate to this feeling of being responsible, being over-responsible, being very watchful, hyper-vigilant for like, okay, who needs help here? Who's upset? Who's angry? Who's sad? Who's not making it in whatever way they're supposed to make it right now? Let me know if you've felt that, and if you've taken on the role of fixing, helping, assisting. Assisting is not the right word in the end, but we'll get to that. If you've taken on the role of other people's responsibilities in your own life, maybe subconsciously even, and maybe you're starting to become conscious of it now. So if you feel that, if you've done that, you can write over responsibility in the comments. I might do a card, I might do a little reading here around this, but let's see. So while you're letting me know if you relate to this, if you've been not only taken on yourself other people's responsibilities, but been put in the position to do it because you're naturally good at it, while you're writing that down, I want to remind you that you can book this call with me. Again, the link is above this video, and after the replay, it will be below this video. Here's why you want to book this call with me. Excuse me. It is my gift, it is my soul gift to identify the areas in your life in which there is a gap, in which there is a misalignment with who you are and how you're being. You know what I mean? Again, there is like who we are and how we're being in the world doesn't always match up with who we are. So when you book a call with me, I help you identify what it is that's getting in your way, help you get into these blind spots that stop you from fully being who you are in this world, from fully expressing your gifts. And it very well may be something like this, where you've taken on everyone else's last problem. And then what happens? Then you have no space for your own. No space to take care of yourself. No space to be responsible for who you're actually responsible for, which is you. You feel it? It's you. It's you that you're responsible for. Before anybody else. So go book that call with me and we will get into it. We'll talk about where there are responsibilities that aren't actually yours. Okay, so I want to give you a little tip here about how, if you're watching this video and you're like, oh man, I know I'm doing that. I know I have done that. I know I can fall into the pattern of doing this. I want to give you a tip for how you can start to undo that. And I have another story to tell. I might tell it now, I might tell it later. We'll see how I feel as I'm going on in this video. The tip is, you can do this in the moment and you can do this after. So in the moment, you might realize like you're starting to solve something for somebody, you're jumping in, maybe they didn't even ask you, and you're feeling like you are obligated. That's a really important word. You're obligated. You feel obligated to solve, to help. Even if you don't have the energy, even if you don't have the desire, even if you don't really feel like it's the right thing to do. So the tip is, you just take a second and you check in with yourself and you go, is this mine? Is this mine? And you listen. Take that pause and listen. If you have trouble with that, if you have trouble with taking the pause and listening, tuning into spirit in that way, is another reason to book a call with me, because I am expert at getting you in touch with your own intuition. Really, sounds arrogant. I'm like tooting my own horn, but it's true. It is really true. So you ask, is this mine? You listen for the answer. And if you get the answer no, you gotta take that step back. Drop it. Not yours, right? It's not yours. It's not yours to fix. It's not yours to deal with. If you already jumped in, if you already did the saving, if you already took on everybody's last responsibility and issue and crisis, you can still use this. You can still go back, like in your silent, quiet, meditative place, you can still go back and review for yourself. Is this mine? Was this mine? And reorient yourself to how you wish to be in the future. How you will live this, do this differently in the future. Okay, so the other little story I was thinking about telling, which I think I will, is, I told how I was in 5th grade seated next to the bad kid. The kid who wasn't doing well. Was doing fine. Doing fine. So also in middle school, we had this whole peer mediation thing, and um, I was a peer mediator, helping people resolve conflicts, so that it didn't have to go to whatever the principal or have a parent-teacher conference, whatever the thing was. And it's not that I don't think those skills were valuable, I really do, but looking back on that, I really do feel like those things were not mine to solve. And that in both those circumstances, and in many, many, many circumstances, that the adults should have been the ones caring in this way. Let me know if you can relate to that too. If you feel that as a child that the adults should have been the ones doing what you were doing. Mm-hmm. So I do feel like giving you a little reading here on responsibility over responsibility. The thing is about responsibility. If it's not yours to take on, and you do take it on out of habit, out of sense of obligation, you really end up harming yourself and the other person in the end, because when we take that over responsibility, when we take on other people's problems, we are preventing them from doing their own work, from taking the steps they need to take to stand up for themselves and do the work that they need to do for their own self-growth, right? Here we are, like, over responsibility getting in the way of our own self-growth, harming our own selves, and paradoxically, ironically, it's harming the person we're trying to do the help for too. Okay, so let me know if this is making sense to you, and here comes a little reading. Asking that this reading be in service of our highest good, that we get the right messages at the right time, and that I say the right words for you watching about over responsibility. Okay, so we've got Page of Pentacles and Four of Pentacles. This is the Light Seers deck if you're watching. So first, Page of Pentacles says, if this is a new idea, if you're just realizing that this is happening for you, pages are the youngest of the court cards, so give it a minute. Let this new understanding root. Four of Pentacles talks about fear and holding on so tight when we don't feel safe and secure. And if this is a new pattern for you to interrupt, to undo, to untie, then yeah, this will absolutely come up. This will absolutely come up. When we undo old patterns, that feeling of like, no, I'm not doing it. It's not safe. I'm out. It comes up. So remembering to look at how she's holding on so tight, and I was talking about letting go of other people's responsibilities. Look at how she prevents herself from participating fully in society by holding on that tight. Because it's tied to a sense of security and safety, because our old habit patterns, our behavior patterns that don't serve us, in some way in the past did serve us. So when we let go, when we shift and change habit and behavior patterns, which I would love to help you with, it's my honor to help people do this work, to help you do this work when we shift those patterns and start letting go, all of that stuff about am I safe? Am I okay in the world? Is this really how I'm meant to be? Comes up for review and processing and understanding and safety. Let me know if you're feeling what I'm saying. So the challenge is then where to find that safety, where to do that work for your own life, your own self. Be gentle with yourself. Also, Page of Pentacles wants to say, be gentle with yourself. When we learn new habits that serve us better, it is like being a kid again. Relearning, relearning, relearning. Be gentle. So the challenge is to affirm your safety and to do the work in a safe way, in a safe container. So, if you're ready for that, if you are ready to do the work of dropping the responsibilities that aren't yours, if you know you do have these gaps in your life, maybe you're like crushing it professionally, or your family life is A-okay, like on point, but there's a disconnect somewhere where you know you're not fully being who you are, book the call. The link is up there. The link is below the video. And as I said in the beginning, when you book this call with me, what happens is you go to the page where you get to find out more about me and how I work with people. You click the apply button, you fill out the questionnaire, you find the time that works best for your schedule. And here's what's going to happen when we get on this call. Pressure is going to be relieved off of you, especially if you relate to this feeling of being responsible for everybody else, over-responsible, hyper-vigilant, taking on everyone's last problem as your own. When you get on this call with me, that pressure is going to start to lift. We're going to start to uncover, undo, make plans for you. You're responsible for you and your life, and being who you are and delivering your gifts into this world. You will start to feel relief, I promise you. It's a guarantee. So, head to the link, go book the call. We will talk about it, we will get into it. I will serve you, I will help you. This is my real mission, right? To do this in a way that aligns with my soul and what my gifts are and what I'm meant to do, instead of in the way of being directed into it or implicitly asked to do it without any direct communication. And probably you felt the same way if you're watching these videos. Okay, so thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening. It's a little bit longer of a video than usual, but that's okay, right? I will talk to you soon. I will talk to you on that call. Wishing you a beautiful day and hoping you can let go of a few things that you already realize aren't yours. See you next time.